that willingly said we'll reduce senator to 50, and that means probably next year I will not come back. He will not be willing to do that. So naturally, everything we are saying, the possibility of seeing it through is almost close to nil, because it must be debated at the floor of the House, or before they can really put this in any constitution, it must be discussed. And why do you want a thief to agree that he will now start to kill a thief? A thief cannot agree. So it's as simple as that. And that's why in Nigeria, we all had last week or 2 weeks ago, when people were saying that we should give what they call that, we should people that have stolen, that should give them some concession, amnesty. We should give. I can't believe it. It's just like you have a son, or you have a son. He has gone to school, he has cheated, and they have told you that he has cheated, and you now came home and they now tell you, Daddy, I will still travel, Abi, or you still take me along. That should be punishment for what he has done. And you are still telling him that, don't worry. They say you have cheated, don't worry. It doesn't mean you are still going. You have stolen, and you still want a soft landing. It's wrong, because the people that will veto it, they are vetoing what we pay them. It's just as natural as that.
The question I would like to ask is, someone here is saying taxes are not voluntary. Government should reflect, as in should go about collecting taxes efficiently. Now we've talked about taxes. I will still come back to talk about the borrowing Taxes are not voluntary.
And
it's a mandatory thing.
It's a mandatory thing.
Yes.
How will you collect tax from someone that doesn't have a job? Tell me. Tell me how you collect tax now. I've told you, go to Dokpemu, Yanokmaja, go you everywhere. You see boys between 18 and 35 play football Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Go and collect tax now. The problem is government needs to expand the economy.
Yes.
Everybody will go to work. That's all. Then you can collect tax from the source.
But then someone had sat here and made a suggestion that if you go to places like Abuja, some areas of Lagos, the bulk of the houses there are practically empty. So in some parts of Abuja, at least 60% of the houses are empty. Built mansions empty.
No, I suggested that some should be converted to minimum prisons.
The ones that are empty, who owns them?
Hold on. In Lekki, for instance, there are houses, you drive through some street and see some houses are empty to let, and in Ikoyi some houses are there to let because of the cost of rent and all. Now, there are those who say, or someone sat here, I think 2 weeks ago, and said, in some climes, they pay taxes on the houses. So if I now want to own like 200 houses, I should know that I'll be paying taxes on the 200 houses. That's not the land use act, land use charge. You pay tax on all of that. So do you think doing that will help in any way in increasing the tax revenue? I think the previous government even talked about some mansions being taxed. Okay,
in Nigeria, we have, I've already told you, the big boys, they have a way of circumventing a lot of things. What we are calling the land use charge is like the tax. That's the truth. But this is a country whereby anybody that has a bigger house, when they come to evaluate, you will tell them, what's the value of this your house? Say, oh boy, just write 10 million. And probably worth 400 million. So they are going to charge him based on 10 million. That's all. So it's only when, as a people, we are honest to ourselves.
Sorry to cut in. To talk about the people. Because if we as a people decide that enough is enough, not in terms of violence, but in terms of attitudinal changes, the way we see things. If I'm a tax officer and I come to your house and come to evaluate or evaluate your house, and you're telling me just put this, and I maintain no, and put the right thing. Are we not going to move forward, faster like that?
We will move forward, but the truth is that
it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. I could remember when I was in the bank, you go and meet a customer that is owing. A customer that is owing. And you've gone there to harass him, to curse him. So you want to take my job, you are this, you are this, you are that. And the guy will call your bosses, and they will call you, you Is that where we sent you? So naturally in civil service, because people that will come to do the evaluation, I only did that example to see the reality. In civil service, people that have come to do the evaluation, they came from a ministry. The guy is the governor's friend or the governor's party, and then he calls the governor. Someone just came to embarrass me. I say, he will call the commissioner, say, which of your guy went to Ikeja? Then they will scold the guy. The next day they post it to Badagry. So the problem with this country is that its leadership from the top, everything is rusty. And so because it's rusty, it's like if you don't beat them, you join them.
So the picture you paint now is like we are powerless. We can't do anything as a people.
We are not powerless. We are not powerless. Never should a nation get to that point. However, there's always a remnant in any society that wants change. And I believe there are intelligent Nigerians who want that change, but they have not been energized or empowered. And that's why as an institute, our responsibility is to train in leadership. A lot of people need retraining. Singapore said, I needed to re-educate, reorientate, retrain my people to put aside their third world habits. There is a habit that has been ingrained because of the darkness of leadership over the years. So we need experts to detox. The person who is writing 10 million instead of the 7 million house has not been trained. The leader at the top who makes that phone call has not been trained, neither does he love the country. There was a time that Fashola, some of his friends will be caught doing one way or something. They will call him and say, oh boy, is it 40,000 you don't have? I beg, tell your driver to pay that money. You can get it from something else. He didn't let some of his friends go free. And that's how the one-way thing stopped in Lagos. Because a leader was resolved. There is a necessity that no matter how much the measure of a leaven, when it's put in a bowl of flour, it will leaven up. What we need now is actors like Ayo, myself, channels, and many others using various multiple of platforms to begin to speak out and begin to train, whereby we begin to give comparative understanding. That if a nation like Singapore, who has no natural resources, is at $85,000 per capita, simply because they attracted over 200 international companies to situate themselves as a hub for Southeast Asia. So why can't we? So those kind of creating new dreams, creating new vision is the new leadership for Nigeria. Because the darkness and the lack of sight has clouded all of us. We become so hopeless. But we are not, because we are a great nation with great potential. The most educated black race in the world. We have a rich diaspora that we have not even attracted. We have opportunity for partnership at international level, and especially nations like Israel and the US. US for technology, Israel for farming. We have no business with international wars that does not concern us. Plain religious war or Christian war or Muslim war is none of our business. We have a nation to build. So the level of maturity required is that we need to move from those ethnicity, social class, nepotism, and all the things that are worrying us, that as a feudal people over the years, like England and many nations went through, we need to come out. So this is responsibility time. And that's why your organization like yours, as a media organization, he as a financial expert, we doing what we do, everybody must come out. This is not the time to sit at your home with a remote control. On election day, you are watching Man U and watching Arsenal that they are earning how much per week. And your nation is in the red. Or you're watching Telemundo and drinking ice cream and people are outside under the sun voting and you say you will not do anything. The elites of Nigeria are predominantly responsible for the governance we have. Because education, to whom much is given, much is required. We are the educated one. How come we are choosing people who cannot represent us? So we have work to do.
Okay.
We have work to do.
It's a job for everyone.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming on this morning. We've been having a chat with a member of Institute of National Transformation, Juliet Benite.
Thank you, my pleasure.
And also a development finance expert, Ayodeji Onigbogi. Thank you for coming on this morning. Sunrise will take a break. We'll be back in a moment.